Well, thanks for agreeing to get started with this. So my first question for you would be, where were you when you started working with us, and where were you looking to get to?
Yeah, so at the beginning when you and I first started talking, I was a solopreneur, so doing stuff by myself. I believe I had a virtual, I had an EA, had an assistant, still do, but I was sort of looking at, okay, I need a decent amount of contractors to come in and help me figure out how to scale this business. And by that was in January of 2026. Now, the middle of July 2026, I think we've hired 9 people, 10 people coming from you guys, and it's helped me grow. The business has now tripled in revenue in that time and maintained extremely healthy margins all the way throughout. So um, scaling this would not have been possible without your guys' help.
Nice. Yeah, good to hear. Why did you choose us to help you do all of that stuff?
I spent hours and hours and hours on Upwork just trying to find a virtual assistant. And there was no way that was going to be something that I could continue to do, sink that time into researching and finding people, and then B, like going through all of the contract negotiation processes, all of the interviews. It was slowing me. It was 10 hours a week to find one person, and I'm not trying to work 70-hour weeks. And so if I was trying to find 3 people in a week, that's almost my entire week gone. And I had a couple of weeks where my entire week was I could almost get no client work done because I was trying to find folks. And so the reason I went with you guys, it would have transparently, this would have been almost impossible to do by myself. Like trying to find people, interviews, go through resumes, find more people. Yeah, it would have been impossible to try to keep up my client load and do all of the contractor headhunting work, for lack of a better term. So um working with you guys was such a no-brainer, especially after the first person that came in. I was like, yeah, this is I think I hired the first person you guys brought to me, and
Yeah.
I think I've hired 80% of the people that you guys have put in front of me, which is crazy. And everyone else, it's not even necessarily that they were bad fits. I had 2 positions open and went with these 2 people instead of these 2 people. And
Yeah.
so that's all that was.
Nice. Awesome. What has the experience been like working with us so far?
Working with you guys is a breeze. I think it took you guys longer to figure out how to work with me than it took me to how to figure out how to work with you guys. Like, I think you guys figured out pretty quickly that, like, I can be sort of slow in getting you guys what you need, and which I think is going to go for a lot of people sort of in a similar space to me, is like, I'm going to try to get you guys stuff as fast as possible. But I think once you guys kind of like clicked in that I could move as fast as you guys wanted to move, you guys sort of sidestepped me and kind of just was like, hey, can we just go do this instead of like, oh,
Yeah.
can you check this off? Can you check this off? And it took you guys like a week, I think. Like, oh, we're just gonna need to sidestep him to get this stuff done. And that was extremely helpful. Um, Instead of making me a blocker, you guys just kind of went around me, um, which was transparently invaluable. Like I couldn't put a dollar valuation on how helpful that was, because we would have never I would have we wouldn't have gotten anything done if you guys were waiting on me to continue to get stuff done. And I think, like I said, anyone that's going to be in a similar spot to I am also is not going to have a massive amount of hours to give to you guys to figure out how to get this stuff done. And you guys transparently, like I said, you guys already knew how to get it done and do it better without my input. So
Awesome. Yeah, nice. Is there anything that sticks out in your mind specifically that has been, useful or impressive with your time with us?
the amount of quality that you guys had brought, not just in your services, but in like the people that I interviewed with. Like I said, I don't think I've had a single bad interview. Like, no one came to me underqualified or like didn't pass like a I could talk to you type of test. Like there's inevitably like some people I got along with better than others, and those were sort of like the people that I
Yeah.
hired versus some of them that I just didn't end up hiring. But everyone that's come to me was a super talented person. And after having gone through attempting to find talented people on my own, the amount of interviews that I had to do where I was like, oh, this was just like like your Upwork account says one thing and talking to you is a completely different situation. And I'm sure you guys go through that too. But the amount of quality you guys were able to bring to me every single time I sat down with someone, I was like, there's going to be a great call. It's going to be a really easy interview. These people were super prepped ahead of time, really ready to have the conversation with me. I essentially was never, I don't know if I've ever told you this actually. I've never had a like skills level conversation with most of these folks. Like I'm never like, hey, can you show me how to do this? Show me. It's never. I've never needed to do that because they've come in and in the first 10 minutes they've already talked to me about everything that they've already had to do, and so we like skipped an entire like qualification step because they were already like primed and ready to go with results. Here's all the stuff I already know how to do. Here are the people that I've worked with. Here's the honestly, my interviews have been booked for 30 minutes. I've never taken more than 20 minutes because 10 minutes of it is just us chatting. The next 10 minutes is like, can we just build a rapport and have good conversation together? That's all it's ever been.
Nice. Yeah, awesome. So who would you recommend us to?
Okay, so this is a really interesting question. So any fractional that's like looking to go from just themselves to work, like to having a few contractors work with them. Listen, I went through the process of like talking to there's companies that specialize in like executive assistants out there. And I worked with a couple and like really didn't find a great fit. And so I found my executive assistant through like kind of a back channeling situation. I fully believe everyone that's fractional, even if you're solopreneur, you should have like an executive assistant. And now you guys don't strictly do executive assistants like some kind of like search firms just have a roster of executive assistants. If I needed an executive assistant, I would still hire you guys to find me an executive assistant, even if that's the only hire that I needed. So every fractional, like even if you're just coming to look for an executive assistant, I still would be going with you guys. But on top of that, if you're a fractional and you're a solopreneur, if you're looking to go to like you to 3 people, you to 4 people, like I went from me to like 12 people in a few months, right? Like 6 months, it was like from me to like 12. Like I have full teams that are now operational on behalf of clients. And so any solopreneur, any fractional that's looking to go beyond what they're like, go be like actually just like build a small, really functional team would be great. So, and then transparently on top of that, any company that's wanting to move into a contractor space, like if you're like the best way to put it would be like an execution contractor. Like if you're looking for a contractor that can just any contractor out there, kind of like someone that can come in and execute at a really good level, they could work with you guys. But definitely fractionals, like someone very similar in my space that's like, okay, I've got 6 clients. I can't handle 6 clients. I need someone to project manage, someone to build this, someone to do that. Should be working with you guys to find those folks.
Awesome. Nice. What would your sort of final comment be to someone that's maybe watching this and considering working with us?
My guess is you're trying to do this by yourself. You're trying to sit on Upwork and you're trying to wade through. You typed in go to market engineer and now you're wading through 70 to 100 people on Upwork in your space and you have no idea if what kind of quality you're looking at. You don't even know what areas of the world to work. Stu, I think you came back to me like week 2 and we're like, oh, we know a lot of really great folks come out of like South Africa. I've hired like 4 of them very immediately, right? And that's some stuff that like how would I have ever figured that out? It takes someone that's like in this day to day to actually know where to even look for folks, whether that's on Upwork, what geos of the world to look in. And so if you're trying to manage this by yourself, like I was trying to manage this by myself, it is almost impossible. And my guess is it's absolutely stealing your day right now. And so, transparently, I don't even know if other people do this. Like, I've never found like a contractor search firm, for lack of a better term. And so, if you're looking for contractors, stop trying to do it yourself. It is such a waste of time. You just essentially, the best way to put this is like if you were to go to Disney, like the amusement park, and you're going to wait in line all day, that's going to suck. You're going to get on like 3 rides. But if you go buy their like skip the line pass for $200, you move right to the head of the queue for all of the rides. And I think that's the best analogy I could put, is like working with you guys has skip me to the front of the queue of like finding the best folks to solve the contractor problems that I had.
Nice. Well, that's a cool way to put it. Well, thanks a lot for doing this, Liam. And yeah, it's much appreciated.
No problem, man.